Hello everybody, Bets Golden here. Today I'm going to work on a layout that's kind of near and dear to my heart. And I had started it yesterday by taking a circle chain stencil that I had, putting some molding paste on it, and then spraying it down with cherry high dilution by Ranger. And so I decided to finish it with you. This is a layout that's pretty near and dear to my heart. I talk about how when I was sick and I basically went from this with this long hair and I donated it to this. So this is just my story about that. And it's taken me 3 or 4 months now to document it because it's been so near and dear. So anyway, I just thought it'd be fun to finish it off with you. I'm going to be using the Ranger Distress Ink by Tim Holtz to finish off the outside of my chain. And the colors that I know for sure I'm going to use are Worn Lipstick, Canadian Apple, Fired Brick, and I might pull in Wilted Violet at the end. I don't know yet. We'll have to play it by ears. And I'm not going to be doing the typical dip in the puddle, make a puddle, dip it, and then distress it. I'm actually going to be using my dabbers to do this. And the reason is because it's too big of a surface and I want to keep it a little bit more precise. I want to keep it on the outside. So as I do this, I'm going to start off with Worn Lipstick first. Let me tell you a little bit about my story and why I decided to donate my hair. About 10 years, I have not felt good. I've been super sick and just tired all the time. And as years have gone by, it's gotten progressively worse. And my white blood cell count was super duper high. Ooh, I like that better, kind of. Was super duper high. And so for 7 years, they've been keeping an eye on it. And finally in 2016, it reared its ugly head and I had to pursue it more. And I went through a couple hematologists, which are blood doctors, prior, and I just wasn't finding answers, and it was frustrating. It's like, why am I paying you all this money to take my blood and do nothing, just watch it? I mean, it's stupid. So I stopped doing that, and I went more towards just burying my head in the sand, kind of, which isn't really what you want to do, but I did it. And then from there, I finally found a hematologist, because again, it started off as a blood disorder, who I understood, and I just told him, you know, let's just do some testing and just get this figured out. And he agreed, and so he did a bunch of testing, and it was hard. I was still tired all the time. I would sleep probably 13, 14 hours a day, including my nighttime sleeping, of course. And I always thought that people would ask, well, how do you feel? And it's like, oh, I feel great. But when you're sick for so long, you really don't know that you don't feel good, because you've just gotten used to it and you just don't know. So I thought I was okay. I just had this weird blood disorder, and when the test came back after all the testing, it showed that I had a huge mineral and vitamin deficiency, and he immediately started me on some injections to get that going and get my vitamins and minerals up. And I had to sit in a clinic with people who had bad diseases. So I had to sit with these people who, had diseases. A lot of them had cancer, and I was in that clinic with these people who were literally just dying, and I didn't feel good. And normally, I've always been big on community service, and I couldn't do anything because I felt so sick. And my kennel, that I bred golden retrievers and provided service dogs for autistic children and people that have PTSD, that all came to a stop because I was sick. And so I really think that the secret to happiness and the secret to life is not doing things that make you happy. I don't think it's self-serving at all. I think that it is all about serving others, giving back to the community, and making the world a better place because of your existence. And if you're not doing that and you're sad, well, I would take a look at myself at that point. And I was just entering, I turned into this pincushion, and it was just hard. They were doing spinal, like spinal tap stuff on me, the equivalent to that, and going up through both ends, and searching for things, and I was just, it was hard, and I'm still a mom with 3 kids. So anyway, I had 3 kids, still trying to hold it together for them, but yet I was scared. I didn't know at the time what was going on with me, what my issues were, and I felt hopeless and worthless because I couldn't give back. I was totally focusing all on trying to get better, and not that there's anything wrong with that, but there has to be more, even when you're sick. And so a lot of these chemo patients, they don't have any hair. And one of the gals has such a positive attitude. And she told me, that this was a great way for her to lose weight or something like that. And she goes, you have beautiful long hair. And she goes, that's the one thing that I desperately miss is my hair. And it got me thinking. I'd always prided myself on my hair. And I really always said I would never cut it. I really thought that it was my best feature. And it was my security blanket, and so I started to think, and I thought, you know what, I don't have anything left. All of my pay is going to my medical bill. Well, all my, not all my pay, I shouldn't say that. Wasn't getting paid at the time because I was sick. All of everything I had was going to fighting this, including, medical bills and paying those off. I had to give up my kennel and breeding the golden retrievers, and because it just didn't feel good anymore. And the only thing I had left, really, that could help anybody at the time was my hair. And I researched it, and I was so angry because I found out that the organization that a lot of people use actually charges their clients. But then I found this organization called Children with Hair Loss. And as a mom, and I know how hard that must be for a child to be battling an illness and then not to have any hair too. That's just tough. And at that point, I decided, sick or not, I'm going to give my hair. And I called down, and I did it. I donated 14.5 inches of it. And that's what I gave. I didn't have anything left to give. That was it. That's all I had. That I valued and treasured as far as, my resources and myself. I know that may sound silly, but it was. And so I went down and I donated. And we found out what I have. I have celiac disease, which is basically whenever I eat gluten, it attacks the little celiac in my small intestines. And so after a while, years of having it attacked, not knowing what was wrong, my body doesn't absorb certain vitamins and minerals. So once a week, I go down and I have those vitamins and minerals that I'm lacking injected. And it happens on Thursdays. And it's changed my life. I'm able to live now. So, you know, I'm still sick, but it's not life-threatening. Now, if I ate gluten, it would be life-threatening. And it has been hard to get used to, but I feel better. So that's, you know, so that's good. But my white blood cell count is still high. That's still on watch. But the whole process, I think, has been good. And knowing that some child somewhere has my hair, it just makes it all worth it. Yeah, it was kind of hard to get rid of. I was having a hard time the night before I donated it. But with all that being said, I kind of don't miss it now that it's gone. And I feel like it's important that I document this because I think that it is something, it's one of my life morals is to give back to the community and to society when you can. And even when you don't think that you can do that, there's always something. You know, and it may be something that you really value. My hair was my identity. I would hide in my hair. And so, the fact that I gave it away, you know, that's just, that wasn't easy, you know, but I did it. So I just want to bring a little bit of awareness to, the organization that I did donate my hair through, which is Children with Hair Loss. And if you scroll down in my videos, you actually can see that day, the journey that I took on that day. Me in the car and getting ready to go with my getting ready to go over to get my thoughts on it and everything, and then the after and what I did, and it's there, you know, and so is the information for Children with Hair Loss. If you're wanting a new style and you have, I believe it's 8 inches of hair that you want to, you know, cut, they don't care if it's colored or gray or anything. You can totally give it to this organization, and they don't charge the families. They guarantee that the kid gets hair as long as they need it until they're 21. So it's awesome. So do something with your hair. If you're done with it, you know, give it to someone else who may need it. So all I did right there was I just took my journal, which is the most important thing on this, and then laid out my pictures. But the reason why I have a chain circle and I decided on that is because I broke the chain of my dependency on my hair when I did this. And so that's what that represents to me. I'm going to go ahead and add a few more bits and pieces to this. I like my stuff to be kind of whimsical, and it has to still represent me, even though it is silly. So I went ahead and used some Dylusion. I love these Dylusion stamps that I'm going to go ahead and you know, put here. I cut them out, fussy cut them out, and I'm just going to add them here just to, you know, add a little something to it. And then I'm going to put my title on it. I have a couple other ideas. We'll see how it goes from here. I hope you guys can see this okay. I have jimmied my camera a little bit differently, and makes it easier for me to work because it's not right under me, but on the same token, I've never done it before. So hopefully it works. So I'm just using my tape runner to go ahead and get these funky little stamps down. And what I did for my journaling is I just took a regular piece of school notebook paper. I wrote it out once, and then I edited it, and then I cut out a half circle according to how much I would need. And I just, I gotta look at it, sorry. I just went from there and wrote it all out. No, I didn't even check for a spelling, so I really hope that I spelled like the word multitude right. And I'll read to you the journaling that I did at the end if you would like. That way, if you're just here to see, you know, the process of what I did, you can do that and then turn off the video and not listen to the journaling if you don't want to, but I'll do that at the end. Okay, and then this little red one is so freaking funny. I'm gonna do that right there. And then I'm gonna add my arrows to my hair. There we go. So it's Children with Hair Loss. You can look them up online. Really nice organization. And again, they don't charge the families, and they'll take any kind of hair. It's pretty cool. So I think I'm going to do this. I know this. Oh, I like that statement better. That's kind of cool. Okay. This is such a fun stamp set from Dylusions. These arrows and the wonky things, I just love them. And it keeps it true to who I am. You know, I like bright, whimsical colors. And the red represents, you know, the passion that that I have for what I did. And that's, you know, and the purple, just, this is going to sound farby, but, you know, I'm a child of God and the child of a king, so I'm royalty, so that's what that means. Okay. You're like, oh my gosh. I know. Then we're going to do this one, just... I have to use this little arrow because I want to bring attention to it. Okay, so there's this, and now let me put on my title. What I did for the title is I used this stamp set. It's the Peg System by Brutus Monroe. And I chose that instead of like thickers because there's a lot of letters on it, and I didn't really want the stamp set to take away from this title to take away from the meaning, if that makes any sense, because I needed the journal and the pictures to really be what it was about. So I used this, and then I used Raven Detail ink. And then what I did was I stamped it out on some flat cardstock that I think is Brutus Monroe too, and cut it out, and then I ran my black journaling pen around the edges so it looks like that. So I'm going to flip this so that I can put this stamp set on. And the title is going to be When You Have Nothing Left to Give, Give Anyway. So I'm going to start it up here in this corner. I'm left-handed, so I have to do this cattywampus. And again, I love the kind of whimsical feel to it. Like, yeah, it's serious, but it's not morbid. You know, I want it to be happy and you know, nothing left. And I'm just kind of placing this randomly to give. And then on the bottom down here in this corner, I want to do give anyway. Give anyway. And then there's a stamp. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to tear up as I tell this story because it's emotional for me. So there's these are called sentiment stacks, and there's one in here. It's called Create Your Own Ending, and this is kind of like Christopher Allen's whole theme is to do, you know, to create your own ending. And sorry, I feel like I did. When you have thoughts that you're going to go through chemo, or you feel like you have no control over your life, and the one thing that I could control, and I know that, you know, you're supposed to give up control and this and that, but the one thing I did have control over and the power to take something that could be devastating and bad like chemo and turn it into good was my hair. And so I'm sorry. And so I knew that no matter what the tests came back as, whether they were, you know, I did have cancer, I didn't have cancer, whatever the ending was, I was going to decide what was going to happen in some form. And I decided that my hair, no matter what, was going to go to help somebody. So I created my own ending. So that has to go here somewhere, right? And I think I'm gonna do it. This is just a white pigment ink. Just gonna do it over here underneath the little arrow. Okay. And I am gonna go ahead and try to heat set this with some embossing powder because I don't want it to take away from what's going on, but I definitely want people to see it there because it means something to me. My goodness, I've never cried in a video. I guess I could edit this out, but I don't know if I want to. I think it's important that you're authentic sometimes. Well, all the time. I mean, and if people don't really know you, they can't really like you. So this is me, tears and all. Okay, so anyway, it's getting done. It's just subtle enough so I can read it, which is what I want. And then I think I am going to go ahead and throw on a little bit of sparkle, if I can find my sparkle. Oh, here it is. This is the Scarlet Bottle Cap Sequin by Brutus Monroe, and I just love these things because they kind of do different things in the light, and it's just real pretty. So I'm just going to add a few bits here and there. Oops, that's going to be a lot, but luckily it dries clear, so we're good. I'm just going to add like 5. I love the packaging on this. It's already been thought about. I mean, it's like in a Ziploc little container, so it's so cool just to be ready to go. Oh my gosh, my nose is running. I was going to tell you guys, you know, to share this as much as you can in the other video too. Not because I want a ton of attention, but because I really want people to know about the organization that they can donate hair to and really make a kid's, you know, life. And I'm not real happy about even posting a video that I'm sitting here crying like a baby on. But if it gets the word out, then I'm all for it. So please feel free just to share this as much as you'd like. Again, it's just such a good organization. Again, they don't charge the families, and they'll take any kind of hair. It doesn't have to be perfectly all natural. I mean, who does that these days? We all color, right? Or we all have gray. So anyway, okay, so this is my finished layout. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I apologize for crying and blubbering like a baby, but that's me. Like, that's my story. That's part of my journey. So anyway, happy crafting. And again, I don't know what you can see because I haven't done this before, so I apologize. I'll take pictures of it all at the end when it dries. Please make sure you like this video, give it thumbs up. Again, share it, and find my other video on the day that I actually donated my hair, and feel free to share that video. Any kind of action that these videos get, it circulates it more throughout YouTube, and more people can actually see it. And that's what I want. That's the most important thing, is for people to be aware of this wonderful organization and the good that they can do with something that they may just, you know, want to change their hairstyle. Let me read you the journal like I had promised, and then I will sign off. 2016 was a rough year. My decade of constantly being sick came to an end. I underwent a multitude of testing and medical procedures. I felt hopeless and sad as I sat every week with chemo patients at the clinic. I wanted to do something to help, but was trying to keep up on my medical bills and treatments. I had to focus on fighting for my life, and I hated that I had to give up everything that would help others. I firmly believe that a life with purpose is giving to others. I felt hopeless. It dawned on me that I could give the one thing I valued most about myself, 14.5 inches of hair. Without hesitation, I donated it to Children with Hair Loss, an organization that does not charge for wigs. Knowing that I could give when I was sick and make a child's day was all worth it.